Hi YouTube, this is my 29-gallon Oceanic Biocube. I got this in a trade about a year ago. The fishing coral are mine, and so is the rock, but I had a larger tank, and I wanted to downgrade. To downsize, not necessarily downgrade. At first it did really well, but then it started to go downhill. Where a lot of people have problems with Aptasia and Majano, I have none of that. My nemesis has been cyanobacteria and, to a lesser extent, hair algae. And after getting tired of fighting that for a while, I kind of just let it go, and I lost a couple corals, and well, that's the name of the game. And if you're gonna keep coral, you're eventually probably gonna lose somewhere along the lines. But regardless, I wanted to get this tank back to life. The number one reason I blame was the crappy power compact lights that come with the Oceanic Biocube, or any Biocube that uses PCs, really. And then I bought cheap Chinese replacements off of eBay, which I should have never done. So we're bringing some life back into this tank, and I've done a whole lot of upgrades and mods to this tank to hopefully get this back to life. So let's first start with lighting. First things first, I completely gutted my hood. PCs are crap, they use a lot of power, and they put off a lot of heat. So I just put this up here. It helps reduce the noise, makes it look nicer. I had initially thought about going hoodless, but I wanted the back covered. I don't like the back chamber open, and so I opted to gut the hood and use it. So what we've got here is the Current USA Orbit Marine LED fixture. This thing is sleek. As you can see, it's super thin, and it puts off, I mean, it's warm to the touch but not hot, and it doesn't transfer any heat down. It uses 72 quarter-watt LEDs, which it sounds not a lot, but it's pretty bright. This is the 18 to 24 inch model. On their site they say that, I believe, at 24 inches depth you'll get 50 par, which is enough for soft corals. Biocube 29 is 14 inches from the top to the sand bed, and about that level I'm getting about 70 par, which is good for anything up to LPS. And then at the top, I don't remember the number, but right up at the top I could probably grow some of the less finicky SPSs, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. It uses four different colors of LEDs actually. 2 different colors of blue and 2 different colors of white, and it really gives a nice color to the tank. Comes standard with it is the Ramp Timer Pro and a remote. This light is completely customizable, but it does come with four pre-programmed timings, and I use that. I use this as a 10-hour day. It fades in the morning, fades out at night. So I believe 4 to 6 hours of moonlight, and then only a couple hours of complete darkness. What's also a really cool function of this is some of the pre-programmed weather settings, I guess. You've got a cloudy. There's 3 different types of cloudy. I don't know what they're called, but as you can see, they're different. This is more of an evening cloudy. And then this is a pretty cool effect. This is a thunderstorm. Isn't that pretty cool? And then this will stay on as long as you want it to, and all you have to do is hit the resume button and you're back to where you were. Those are drastic swings, but once they're programmed, the standard cycles anyway, they're pretty smooth. Next, let's go to Skimmer. Now I'm using just the stock Skimmer, which some people love it, some people hate it. I'm kind of indifferent. It does okay. So what I've done is You see, I'm actually getting some good production out of this thing. So it's doing alright. But what I've done is I've actually customized this. I took a gravel vacuum and I cut it down, and I extended the tube to double its length. And then I'm not using lime wood, I'm using I think it's a fine bubble stone from PetSmart, and it works just fine. That's the smallest they have. I'll probably upgrade that to a medium. I wouldn't mind a little bit more bubbles, but that upgrade's really helping the Skimmer do its thing. And I don't have a heavy bio load in here anyway, but with the troubles I was having, I figured I wanted to get out as much as I can. So there's the upgrade to that. Get my heat probe back in there. There's just a gang valve, I guess is what you call it, or to adjust my skimmer. Nothing really special there. Right here we've got a CPR Nano media tumbler, and just one second, I'm grabbing a flashlight so we can see better. This guy I've got filled with it's called a ClearFX Pro, and I'm not particularly fond of the media. The setup was kind of a pain, but it's granulated carbon and GFO for phosphate, and then there's some other media in there. It's kind of like a silica almost, and they claim it polishes your water, pulls out phosphates, and really anything that's not supposed to be in your tank. It's supposed to last 4 months in salt water before it needs to be refreshed. And yeah, so it's just run by a little Rio pump on the bottom, and it's hard to see in there, but that's just tumbling slowly the media in there, carbon on the bottom, and then you got the it kind of levels out. But that's working pretty good. Get that way back in there. I've got a few rocks down there. Okay. Next, I guess since we're right there, I've kind of got like a little refugium going on back there. Nothing major, but further to remove phosphates and whatnot, I've got chaeto, and of course you can't see it. Well, I can turn on the light, and then we'll be able to see it. So it's run on a timer, opposite daylight, just like most people do. So I'll just turn that on this timer, and that'll help us see better. So just, got some chaeto down there, and what I did to make this work, I got a conduit box, a CFL tube in there, just a compact fluorescent, and with the PCs gone, the effect on heat is pretty negligible. My pump was making a lot of noise, my return pump, the standard that comes with it. So I bought an equivalent pump, or was supposed to be an equivalent pump, the Pico Evolution 1200. It's supposed to be a 1200 or a 300 gallon per hour, just like the stock, but it is a little less. But you know what? It's a tiny pump, so I'm surprised at how powerful it is, how tiny it is. So if you want to get more, if you're going to get that pump, I would recommend maybe getting a little bit larger flow from that. But right now, I'm really liking my flow. To that, I added a Hydor Flo, is what it's called. It just gives me a little bit better water movement, some surface agitation, randomized movement, and reduces dead spots. I've had these Koralia Nanos in the corner since I got the tank, but I've only had them running 24/7, which is, it's not random movement, and it's not as good for your reef. So what I did is I purchased the Hydor Koralia SmartWave. This guy, he alternates my my pumps. Right now on this first setting, I've got one pump on for 5 seconds, and the other pump kicks on for 5 seconds. So right now the left pump's on, and then now